Well, this inadvertently is a two-part video, so we're going to have part one and part two. I just so happen to like the first part enough to do it that way. I mean, what the hey, you know. But anyway, the Alfa Romeo Giulia was Motor Trend's Car of the Year. The VW Beetle never made it to Motor Trend's Car of the Year. It kind of snuck up on us, and in doing so, it missed Car of the Year. Anyway. I would say that the Alfa is a classic car of our day. It's got unique character to it. It's got a modern style to it, but yet it's unique. When people see the Alfa Romeo Giulia, even if they don't know cars, they're like, wow, what is that? Very few cars get that these days. Now, it's not a barnstorming sales success, but it is nonetheless a car that's made its mark. It's not Japanese, it's not Korean, and it's getting around. Now, of course, with Peugeot in the mix, owning FCA as of a couple of days ago, or maybe 5 days ago, it's going to remain to be seen. They won't get rid of this platform, I doubt. They'll make some Peugeots off it and make some other decisions to make it more worthwhile. If they have to get rid of it, they will. Now, the VW, this was a car that, let it be known that Henry Ford, of course, was anti-Semite, meaning that he didn't dig Jewish people, and he made it known. I mean, he was just kind of they say Henry Ford was an idiot, but he had one good idea, and sometimes that's all you need in life. Matter of fact, just about all the time is what you need. It's just one good idea. Many people don't even have that one idea, but Adolf Hitler was absolutely in rank with Henry Ford. He said, there's a guy after my own heart. He doesn't like the Jews either, and he came out with a great car. So Hitler decided he wanted to be a Henry Ford, and he commissioned the People's Car, which was designed by Ferdinand Porsche. Engine in the rear, kind of funky styling. I asked my mother once, I said, was the Volkswagen ever in style? And she said, of course not, or no. And it's true, but yet it's kind of like your car of the 30s. I mean, late 30s. It doesn't have a engine out in the front, so there's no big grille, but you could see it. I mean, Chrysler made a car similar that they were thinking of making back in that same era. And the Giulia is the latest example of the foreign car. Now, you'll notice I haven't really done a panorama view of my cars in the last couple of videos, and I've added the what do they call this? The Superbird, and that is going to be for another day. And I've also got some other cars that I found where I knew I had, but I hadn't thought I'd have so many videos. But let's see a little something about this VW. It had chrome on it. It had fenders that were separated from the body, not for style. It was just how they did it in those days. It had these tail lamps, which were perfect. They say that the lamps that came on the second new Beetle that were sideways were considered for this car, but they never did it. You can only do it one way or the next, but they never redid it. You know, you want to keep the look. I think they missed something. I think there's a little curly cue behind this window. Maybe they didn't. Maybe not in all models. Not all models, but we had a Volkswagen bus when I was growing up, and believe it or not, the Volkswagen bus, as bigger as it looks, is on the same wheelbase as the Beetlebug. Now, you can see inside, Hot Wheels type cars really aren't made to exact perfection on the inside, but it was very plain inside. It had a back seat, so you weren't stranded for just two people in this car. And look at this. It looks like this car had a wreck. Part of the front bumper is missing. Didn't notice that till now. Maybe my this is our Pelican that came today. I don't know if I'm going to make this in two, or I'm just going to start this like I did and make this the only one, because I don't think I'm really missing much information in this particular video. This Pelican, somebody knocked at the door about noon or so. I thought it was some woman that admired me, and I wasn't really ready for company, so I just let the knock go, and they didn't knock again. And when I got out, in my pocket thing outside my door, there was this Pelican. Everybody got one. even though the envelope said especially for Dave or especially for you. But I understand the point. Now, here, look at this. You can take this Volkswagen and you can go back on it, and it will go on its own a little bit. Knocks the bird over. Anyway, what else can we say about these two cars? I think that, you know, if you're going to have foreign cars, you might as well have two cars that match in color, both red. One that you could drive today. Now, they say this car is not as reliable as it can be. It's hard to believe that there could be such a thing as an unreliable car these days. They're all made to specifications similar, but it's possible. It had some teething pains. I don't know how reliable it is yet. I'd have to look at my Consumer Reports magazine, but even then, they might have a limited amount of feedback on it. And the VW was extraordinarily reliable. Not so much that they're in every street corner. I mean, like any other car, they get old, they go to the junkyard, and that's the last you ever heard of them. I wonder how many VW Beetles are in existence today. I would imagine maybe, I don't know, maybe in the United States, I'd say 10,000. I mean, which of a car that they stopped producing 43 years ago, it would not be a bad amount to remain. But that's out of so many millions and millions that they sold here. The VW also had the Carmen Ghia based off it, and come 1970, they started out with the 411. They tried to do a bunch of stuff, the fastback, the squareback, but at the end of the day, they knew that a good thing was about done, so they came out with the Rabbit. The Rabbit, known as the Golf everywhere else but here in the United States, and they came out with the Scirocco and the Passat and the Dasher, and, you know, VW became a front drive entity. I don't think that VW has really gone far after that. I think there's two eras at VW, the bug era and the front wheel drive era. Now, Volkswagens here in the United States are sold in large part as Audis. Now, the Audis are a very, you know, substantial makeover from any VW that it might be sourced from, but you know, VW, people think, oh, it lost its mojo. Well, not really. They sell Audis here. They'd rather sell you an Audi at a high price than a VW at a low price, although they do make VWs in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and they put an effort into it, but Audi sells by the ton. I really think that in some regard, it's a bit of a come on that they can't sell VWs here. I don't think they really want to. I don't think they want people to say, hey, you can get an Audi at a VW price. I mean, so if you want a Jetta, you can get it, but they even canceled the Golf here recently. And, you know, cars in general seem to be going away, except the very best ones. But anyway, so if you want a foreign car, and they're not even called foreign, the Alfa is made in Italy. The VW was made in Germany. But, you know, if you want a foreign car, like the old days, like the new days, these are two to definitely consider. Now, I would give you a ride in these, but it would be hard to say. It would be hard. You'd have to flip the coin many times before you decided which one you want. And I don't have that type of time. So one of these days when you decide Italian or German, or you can combine the both of them and you'll have a Jalopy. Oh, no, that's an Israeli-Italian car. Anyway, we better go before we get into trouble. Thank you for stopping in. I hope you enjoy this. It's a little bit confusing, but I think the average person can put it together. And my Pelican says, hopefully it will make it to the next video.